Guys, Miss Phelan here. I'm coming to you from my back porch today. I thought the weather was so nice that I would come out here and read to you guys. This is the backyard. This is Mr. Phelan's lawnmower. Here's my backyard. Y'all see my car. The dogs are out here. Clover's right there. Salem's right there. This, if you don't know what that is a compost bin. When you finish different foods like fruits and vegetables and things like that aren't animal products, you put them in there and then you spin it every couple days, and then after a few weeks you have new soil. So I like to put my food scraps in there and get new soil for the yard. So that's what that is. That's a compost bin. So yeah, it's a beautiful day today. I thought the weather was supposed to be a little rainy tomorrow, so we'd probably be back inside tomorrow. But I did want to be out here today. Oh nope, tomorrow's not supposed to rain anymore. Good. Okay, so we'll probably be back out here tomorrow. But I know some of you heard my announcement yesterday, but yes, I am going to be moving in June, so we'll be here the whole month of May and a little bit of June. Hopefully I'll get to see everybody before we officially leave, and that some of these restrictions will be lifted so I can come give you guys some hugs before we go. But I've had a great year with everybody, and it's going to be really sad to go, but it's just what happens sometimes. But let's go ahead and get started with our next chapter today. We're going to read chapter 10, Mr. Gorf. Now, if you remember, Miss Jules is pregnant. She's having a baby, so she is going to be leaving to go home and rest and get ready for her baby to come. So now we have Mr. Gorf, a new teacher who is going to come in for her. So let's find out what that's all about. Mr. Gorf, muttered Joy as she walked down the stairs to recess. Did she say Mr. Gorf? Maricia nodded. Leslie caught up to them. Did she say Mr. Gorf? I think so, said Maricia. Do you think? Leslie asked. I don't know, said Maricia. I hope not, said Joy. Before Mrs. Jules ever came to Wayside School, the children had a teacher named Mrs. Gorf. She wasn't very nice. Even Myron was worried, and Myron had never gotten in trouble in his whole life. Mr. Gorf might be a good teacher, said Eric Bacon. Just because he has the same last name as Mrs. Gorf doesn't mean he'll be horrible. That's right, said Eric Evans. People with the same name can be different. I agree, said Eric Fry. There are probably lots of people named Gorf, Damien said hopefully. I bet if you looked in the phone book, you'd find 10 whole pages of Gorfs. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not coming to school tomorrow, said Joy. Me neither, Maricia agreed. But the next morning their parents made them all go to school. Everyone arrived on time. Nobody dared to be late. But there was no teacher. Dee Dee sat down next to Myron. Is he here? She whispered. Shh, whispered Myron. He folded his hands on his desk and stared straight ahead. My neighbor's putting out his trash can, so my dogs are barking at him, and the trash can makes a lot of noise, so I'm going to wait a second until he's done. Okay, there we go. Okay. Shh, whispered Myron. He folded his hands on his desk and stared straight ahead. One by one, the children entered the classroom and quietly sat down at their desks. They couldn't take any chances. Mr. Gorf might walk through the door any moment. Or maybe he was already there, hiding in the coat closet, just waiting for someone to do something wrong. I didn't want to come today, whispered Calvin, but my parents made me. Shh, said Bebe. He might hear you. Mr. Kidswatter's voice came over the PA system. Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning, Mr. Kidswatter, the children all answered together like good little boys and girls. They listened attentively to their principal. Then when Mr. Kidswatter was finished, they took out their arithmetic books and started working. After that, they did social studies, reading, and spelling. When the recess bell rang, the children put their books neatly in their desks, quietly lined up, and walked out of the room and down the stairs. So, how's your substitute teacher? Asked Louis, out on the playground. Tough, said Bebe. I've never worked so hard in my life. I did more work before 10 o'clock than most people do in a day, said Calvin. But he's very fair, Myron quickly added, just in case Mr. Gorf was listening. He might have been hiding in the bushes. Yes, he's nice and fair and a very good teacher, said Jenny. Very smart, too, said Dee Dee. We're lucky to have him. Louis twisted the end of his mustache between his fingers. After recess, the children returned to class and worked until lunchtime. At lunch, they ate all the food Miss Mush served them. Their manners were perfect. Mr. Gorf might have been hiding under the table. After lunch, they returned to class and practiced their handwriting. Myron looked around. All of a sudden, he got a terrible urge to do something. Anything. "Ooga booga," he said. Jenny put her fingers to her lips. "Biff, boff, boof," said Myron a little louder. "Shh," said Jenny. Myron stood up. "No," he shouted. "I don't have to be quiet." Everyone tried to get Myron to hush up. Myron climbed on top of his desk. "Look around, folks. There's no teacher. We're doing all this work for nothing." "Get down," whispered Allison. "Do you want to get us all in trouble?" Myron jumped on top of Allison's desk. "Hi, Allison," he said. Then he hopped over to Dee Dee's desk, then Ron's, then Mauricia's. "Please, Myron," said Mauricia. "This is fun," said Myron. He made a great leap and landed on top of the teacher's desk. Mrs. Jules had always kept a coffee can full of Tootsie Roll Pops on her desk. It was still there. "Hey, anyone want a Tootsie Roll Pop?" asked Myron. Everyone stared at him. Myron took one for himself. He sat in the teacher's chair with his feet up on the teacher's desk and sucked on it. "Please stop, Myron," begged Jenny. "What if he's hiding in the closet?" "Get real," said Myron. "Why would he hide in the closet?" "What if Mr. Gorf was married to Mrs. Gorf?" asked Allison. Myron laughed. "Who would ever want to marry Mrs. Gorf?" he asked. "Somebody had to marry her," said Rondi, "or else she wouldn't have been a Mrs." "What if he loved her very much?" asked Allison, "and then one day she didn't come home from work and he never saw her again? And he didn't know what happened to her, but he knew she used to teach this class, so he might be hiding in the closet to try to find out if we're the ones who got rid of her." "If I was married to Mrs. Gorf," said Jason, "I'd be glad she never came home. He should thank us." "Nice going, Jason," said Jenny. "If he is hiding in the closet, you just told him we're the ones who got rid of his wife." "Well, if I did and you just did," said Jason. "It doesn't matter," shouted Myron, "because Mr. Gorf is not hiding in the closet." Myron went to the back of the room and opened the closet door. A man stepped out. "Thank you," he said. "I accidentally locked myself in here this morning, and I've been waiting for someone to open the door." Myron swallowed his Tootsie Roll Pop, stick and all. So I guess Mr. Gorf is there. We don't know really if he is married to Mrs. Gorf. I assumed that the last time, but we're not sure if he is. So he was in the closet, not hiding. He got locked in there, but he's there. So the next chapter is chapter 11, Voices. So maybe we will get to find out a little bit more about Mr. Gorf. All right, your caterpillars have been shipped. They are in the mail, so they should be coming sometime this week. And then I'll go around on Saturday and be passing them out to you guys so we can get started on that. Okay? Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.